find out that there's an engineer somewhere in the world that considers that an emergency exit. I promise you will get hurt if you try to go out a window, so please don't unless we are actually on fire or something. If you are in an emergency exit row, those windows work just like the normal human-proof windows. Push the plungers towards the center at the top and they will slide down. You are very welcome to use them that way. There's an emergency exit out the back. There are two on the ceiling. We're going to try to use the front door for all of our comings and goings today, unless maybe directed otherwise. Fire extinguisher in front of the front seat. If we were to spontaneously burst into flame, we should be able to take care of that. There's a medical kit above the front seat. It's for minor bumps and scrapes. Hopefully we won't have any of those today. And then finally, this radio is going to be tuned to channel 1, and it works just like a walkie-talkie. You have to remove this mic from the cradle. You have to press this little button on the side to talk to our emergency response, but you have to release it to hear what they have to say back to you. Now it looks like this. 6 a.m. East Fork, leaving 1919.
Copy, leaving with 19.
Alright, so Green Bus is kind of pick and choose your own adventure. You guys are very welcome to ride the round trip with me. Just hang out, look for animals. You're welcome to jump out at some point and go hiking. If you wanted to hike, great. What we recommend is that you paid for tickets to East Fork, so you might as well ride with me all the way out there, and then maybe jump out on the way back. That way you'll have a better informed decision of all the places you could potentially hike, and I can help guide you if you got questions, or at a rest stop or something, if you want to uphill, strenuous, or leisurely or whatever, come find me and we can chat it out. Even if you plan on just riding the round trip with me, it is a good idea to keep some animal safety thoughts in mind. Anyhow, it happens to me at least 3 times a season that I have people off board a bus not paying any attention, just at a rest stop or something, and a wild animal walks right out of the thick brush and right into a crowd of people, which can make things real exciting real quick. So if we were to run into a grizzly bear, we would want to not run from a grizzly bear. That'll kick in its predator-prey instinct, and they can run 35 miles an hour, which is faster than you. Fun fact, that's about a football field in 7 seconds, so they're pretty quick. Some people say, well, I don't have to outrun the bear, just my buddy. There are documented cases of that not working out for either party because the bear is faster than both of you, so selfishness is not going to help you. If you could stand your ground, get your arms up in an effort to make yourself appear larger than you actually are, and talk to the bear in a low, calm voice, it's going to be your best course of action. And I realize that sounds a little silly, but Park Service, the Flat Hats here, again, have done a really good job separating the wildlife from the humans, and so the human voice is not something they are familiar with. It works very well as a deterrent to get things to turn around and go the other direction. I am literally living proof that this works, and I am here to tell you that Smokey the Bear is much more intimidating in person, and when you meet him, it's nice to be able to raise your arms, swear to prevent forest fires, and have him turn around and go the other direction. We don't want to familiarize things with our voices, so that way it continues to work as a deterrent for our hikers out there. Using your voice, scaring away animals, that's great if you're out there. If you're on a bus, not so great. We would prefer that they stick around close, so even if something's real far away, there could be something closer in the brush we haven't noticed yet, so if you're helping your neighbor find something in the distance, just indoor kind of quiet library voices, please, at animal stops. Alternatively, if we were to run into a moose, we would want to run from a moose. They are territorial, they are aggressive, they will go out of their way to trample you. It's a hobby of theirs. They injure more people in the park every year than any other animal. They really are by far the most dangerous thing in the park, followed by the rental RV, followed by the Arctic ground squirrel, and a distant fourth is maybe the grizzly bear. So, they're pretty expressive with their ears. If you see their ears pinned back, that is your cue to run, because they're going to come at you. They're probably going to knock you over, and they're probably going to continue to stomp on you until you stop squirming. So, if you could zigzag through some trees, maybe jump back on board the bus, or maybe in this instance you could be selfish and get behind your buddy, that would work for you. We are on the buddy system. I'm not going to be counting to 19 every time we're on and off the bus. We have a few more scheduled campground stops, so it'll be a few more than that by the time we get out there, I'd imagine. But I am a former engineer and a current bus driver, so it should give you some idea of my math skills. You guys were all great at being on time this morning. That's awesome. We were scheduled for 40 people. We have 19, so happy you showed up. The other half we're going to have to figure it out later, I guess. But animal sightings, I think, is actually everybody's favorite portion of the trip. I'm going to do my very best to help you with front windshield, I promise. There's plenty of things I can't do, though. There's a large majority of this trip where the passenger side is uphill for me, and I see bus ceiling if I try to look up there. So all you got to do if you see something you want to stop for is holler stop, nice and loud. I will get the bus stopped as quickly and as safely as possible. Once the bus is stopped, you are welcome to jump up and move around a little bit. It's unlikely I get you guys up front, you guys way in the back. I'll look at whatever it is without some row having a spruce tree in their way. So make friends with your neighbors, share some window space, move around, get a different aisle if, you know, or row if there's something in your way. And then once the bus starts rolling forward again, please find a seat and a seat belt as quickly as possible. We will use the clock system to point everything out, analog, not digital, and if by chance you're the last person on the planet that hasn't heard of the clock game, I will explain it briefly. We're going to pretend that the bus is the face of a clock, with 12 being out front, 6 off the back, 9 off the left, 3 off the right. You get everybody looking at approximately the right time. And then I will try to give you some more verbal cues over the mic once I've found whatever it is you found for us to look at. Final few things for the day before I get quiet on you. If you guys have food or drink, we prefer that you eat and drink on board the bus. That way if you accidentally make a little mess, it's contained inside the bus, and no little woodland creatures are ending up with whatever it is you have to be eating. It helps us and the park service to keep the wild out there. If you have any trash or recycling, as you know, in general, I guess, or as a result, there are trash and recycling bins at the rest stops you can use, so just hold on to trash items till we get there. I do have 2 runs today, so try not to make a mess in the bus, because somebody else is going to have to sit on that for our second run, but it's better inside the bus than outside. Obviously, if you're going to take a hike and you got food with you and you're feeling hungry, please eat something, but, you know, just don't let crumbs go anywhere. Keep all that stuff kind of contained. And then finally, green bus protocol. After mile 15, there are no trails. It's a big trailless wilderness. It's awesome. You can just pick a direction and go. You see a mountain peak that looks neat, go up there. Buses are every 30 minutes. There's another green bus by. And so take a hike, come back to the road. Next green bus, go in the direction you want to go. Hey, I want to get picked up with, from the side of the road. And we'll stop for you. So pretty much that easy. We're pretty friendly around here. If you give us a hi, hello, how are you doing wave, you could get one of those back and driven by. So just make it obvious you want to get picked up, stick out a thumb or a leg or whatever, and we'll get you. Do a jumping jack. We'll pick you up. And lastly, we'll feel this out. I am very happy to chat with you all day long about the park. But I got to be prompted. So if you have questions, holler them up. I'm happy to answer anything you might want to know about. If you guys would prefer to sit back there, chat with each other, and look for animals, I'm very happy to be a quiet, happy bus driver up here. So we'll see how it goes. With that, welcome to the park, and we'll see what we get out here today as far as sightings and things.
When was the term flat hat coined?
Oh, that's one of my own colorful phrases that I have adopted over the years. I'm not sure how long ago I came up with that, but it's been 4 or 5 years I've been throwing that around. And they've adopted it, I think. There's a bunch of my friends that work for Park Service and have started referring to themselves as that. Yeah, so I'm not technically Park Service. I work for Doyon Airmark. We're contracted by Park Service to run the concession to the park. And we work very, very closely with Park Service, live and work and play and eat and all that stuff together. And so we are very close. It's just kind of a colorful term for them, and people seem to get it and say flat hat. I think it's funny. So.
Did they come up with any reason why the trees are turning brown so much in this park?
I'm sorry?
The trees are turning brown a lot.
Oh, yeah. So if you, I don't know which direction of travel you managed to come into the park from, but if you came from the south, from Anchorage,
Yes.
basically every tree between here and there is dead. Any significantly sized tree, I guess I should say. And some of that, a very small amount of that is due to past fire, but most of that is due to the spruce bark beetle, which is native to Alaska, but has never ever, in the history, as far as we know, ever made it this far north before. There was a natural barrier that existed that any place that got 40 below for a week or longer in the winter the beetle wouldn't survive. And 40 below, for the record, is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit. That is where those temperature scales kind of cross. So 40 below is 40 below is 40 below. It's real cold. And traditionally, 40 below happened for a week or longer real far south of us. And that is no longer the case. And so the beetle has spread north and into the park, and you'll see damage. Maybe firstly got into the park last year, and so is spreading out along the front country area of the park. And there's nothing they can really do about it. And there are some interesting side effects that are already happening as a result, and there's some speculated side effects that may happen as a result. One of the first things that we're seeing right now is we have a pretty large uptick in three-toed woodpecker because they have more food around. But we speculate in our bird person. The world's leading golden eagle expert lives in the park here, and I asked her if she thought there was going to be a mass die-out of the Canada jay. Since the Canada jay does not migrate, it caches food in the resin of the spruce trees. And if all the spruce trees die, then it's got no refrigerator for the winter. And she didn't say one way or another because she's a scientist, but she kind of thought that we might see a pretty large die-off of Canada jays in this area as a result. But it remains to be seen. They could figure it out and start migrating or something. It's possible. But yeah, spruce bark beetle is most of the damaged trees that you see turning brown. If you guys didn't hear, that's a great question. How does the Arctic ground squirrels hurt you? Well, they're actually the saber-toothed ground squirrel. I'm just kidding there. They are a little bitey. They actually dish out more stitches than any other animal in the park, and I think it's because they're awfully cute and kind of unassuming, and then people get up close to them, and then, all of a sudden they are actually, in fact, a wild animal, and they bite people. And there's one that we call him Reggie. But anyway, he's a Arctic ground squirrel that hangs out at the East Fork turnaround, and he's become pretty bold, and he's gotten fairly used to people since we're dropping a lot of people off the bus there, and has been known to find if there's an empty bus out there, he'll jump in it and try to scavenge people's fruit snacks or whatever they leave laying around. So yeah, they're a little bitey. They're super cute. You can get up fairly close to them, but don't get so close that they can bite you. Unfortunately, a lot of that is children trying to pet them or whatever, We should find some Arctic ground squirrels a little later. I'll stop for one if we find one doing its prairie dog impression. They're pretty